how I say
Brania.
Brania. Dylan Brania. Thank you so much for being my first person.
Of course, anytime.
Yeah.
Glad I could be here.
How's it feel to be tested on?
Oh, not the first time. I was always the first one to do something stupid in my friend group or do something stupid at work, so it's all good.
Is that how you got into your particular work?
No, how I got into that was really just messing around online and saying like, hey, look, this looks pretty cool. And then like I was trying like some free thing out I found out on Google. So like you gotta like open Google, like go to this thing. It's linked with like SoundCloud or something. See like all this music. So I just like messed around on that for a while and really started like getting into it. And then I like got like some cheaper free software and just messed around on that for a couple of years. Then I got out of it for a while just because like I just kind of lost interest. And then I really got back into it around like sophomore year when I started like expanding my music taste more. And then one of my old coworkers wanted to be a promoter, so he's like, hey, if I ever need you for shows, I'll hit you up. And then he finally threw his first show back in April, and I was the first set on there, which was really awesome to do.
So DJing, when it comes to making music and producing it, what is sort of the core difference between DJing and actually making the music? Because as I understand it, DJing is mixing other people's music in a sense and sort of making it your own theatrical concoction of their material. Yeah,
it's definitely a huge difference between producing and DJing. Like producing, you got to spend hours and hours and weeks and months just on like one song, which I don't really personally, I'm not into producing that big. I've always been trying to get into it. Just I never have the time to with work and other things going on in life to like really sit down and like get to know the software and like get to actually produce a good sound that I like. But mixing I've always loved because I can just take like my friends' music or like other people's music I listen to, throw it into a Serato and then mix it around a little bit and like change it up, like play this song into this song, or try to completely do something else where like I put like a slow song and then fade it into a really fast song that like changes the energy of the crowd completely.
Honestly, when I went to the club to see you play and to take photos for you, that was actually my first EDM experience my entire life. I had never ever been to an electronic show of any kind.
That's crazy. Yeah. I always love them. There's so much fun to go to. It's like the atmosphere of them are crazy. It's like everyone's always just like so happy and everyone's there all for the same reason, just for the music and to see the artists that they paid to go see and just to be with their friends all the time.
Yeah, it was, wow, it was awesome. I mean, the lights, the music, is definitely a different scene. I sort of grew up in the metal scene and in hardcore, and I was talking to a coworker about it. I mean, there was a lot of, I'll call it illusions or similarities between this EDM scene and the hardcore shows I've frequented my whole life when it comes to dances, how people dress, you know, how you conduct yourself. It was really weird. It was like the entire experience, but from an altered perspective. And I definitely want to know more, which is why I thought about hitting you up just for this particular episode, because I really want to probe your personal experience in the scene. I mean, why is it people, before you even ask that, well, how would you define electronic dance music? Because like metal, I know there's a fuck ton of genres.
Oh yeah, it just goes forever. And it's like I come from like a metal and like rock background. Like my parents were into it, so that's what I grew up listening to a lot. So that's where like a lot of like my energy comes from. Like when I'm on stage, I'm always like bouncing around and headbanging, and you know, like throwing my arms around and just like I'm just doing what I love. And like that's what I got in. Like the heavy metal definitely like influenced me with what I do and like my harder style of music that I like to play. But like how electronic music really is, like it's crazy. Like there are festivals like EDC in Vegas where they have 7 or 8 stages, and like every stage has its own like genre of music that it plays. Like everyone can just like walk around and like, hey, let's go check out this stage and see who's playing on here and see if we dig it or not, or let's go to this stage. It's like they got stages for like just like dance music to like you'd find in this like your average nightclub in the city on like a Friday night. They've got the bass stage where it's just like hard dubstep all night. People are breaking their necks all day. And they've got ones where it's just like really chill, like people just want to go there and like vibe out with other friends. It's incredible. It's like even though everyone's there for like their own specific genre, everyone is all there, and it's just beautiful to see like everyone there is just smiling, and it's so amazing just to see all that.
And there's got to be, I mean, talk about different scenes, when it comes to metal, those scenes are, at least in my experience, pretty pronounced because I've grown up with them. I can see the difference between someone who listens to, let's say, your suburban radio metal show, or someone who listens to, I don't know, maybe grew up with emo music in the early 2000s. They definitely have a different look to them. They're definitely representing themselves differently, and their shows play out differently. They definitely do. Especially these days in metal, I mean, especially with the difference between hardcore, sort of drawing back to what you were saying about the festival and the different stages. Let's just take Warped Tour, for example. One of the metal fests that we have around here yearly. Well, not anymore, but
Rip Warped Tour 2018.
When we did, I mean, there's different kinds of pits. I mean, you go to one band, you're going to get a pit that is going to smash your face in, and then you go see, I don't know, some teenage pop punk band, and it's going to be all teenage girls crowd surfing. It's
exactly.
Totally different.
Yeah, it's completely different. It's like there are people on stage, like I love to go see, like seeing someone like Excision. Yeah, you're going to get pits, just like people like shoving you around and everything. You see someone like Zomboy, and he just splits the whole crowd down the middle, and he's like, I will not play this track until I see both sides run at each other.
Yeah.
And it's like it's all just like whatever like kind of style they are, and like definitely it's like it's the artist's like influence on like the crowd and everything. Like if you go to see Marshmello, no one's gonna be moshing to Marshmello unless they're crazy. Like you just can't do it. But then like you go to someone like Funkcase, and people are just gonna be killing you in the crowd, because it's like what the music and the artist portray bounces off back into the crowd. Like if I see Funkcase jumping up and down on stage, jumping off of the turntables, and just like throwing his whole body around on stage, it's gonna make me want to do that in the crowd.
On that note, when I saw you perform at that club, your fucking energy, dude. Whoa. Holy shit. I mean, you were headbanging to the waist. Like, you were throwing a fucking one-man party up there.
Thank you very much.
It was badass, dude. It's my first exposure. Were you the first guy on? I think
I was the first guy on that night.
You were the first guy on that night. I was, holy shit.
Yeah, when you're the first guy on, you definitely have to make an impression. So, like, most of the people in the crowd I did know, but, like, the 10 or 15 I didn't know, and it's like... Yeah. You're gonna remember me. You're gonna remember me as that kid that was just destroying himself on stage. And the reason I do that is like seeing like all my favorite artists like Zomboy, Funkcase, shout out both those guys, they're fucking awesome. Seeing them on stage just doing what they love and just bouncing around, throwing their arms around, breaking their necks on stage. It's like seeing that you're just like, man, I want to go do that. I want to get on stage. I want to play this music for this crowd, and I want to see them do what I'm doing. I want to have them break their necks with me.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, seeing you up there, I thought to myself, oh man, what if I went up there? But, you know, I think about that, I just don't think I could get anyone on my level, to be honest. You ever feel like it's hard to get people on your level when you're up there?
Oh yeah, definitely, because there's always, like, most of the shows I've done, I've been like the first couple of openers, and like most of the time they're there to see the headliners, like the headliner style. And the show I played was a mostly rhythm show, which I'm not a huge fan of rhythm, but I did throw like one or two songs in there because like it's like I did get down with those songs, but like I play what I love to play. It's like if people don't want to dig that, they don't have to. But it's like when I like, if I want to play dubstep on stage, I'm gonna play dubstep because that's what I love to play. It's like if no one wants to dig it, that's fine. I'd rather have the two people in the back of the venue digging what I'm doing, and me having and me playing what I love to play, than have the whole crowd go crazy for music that I don't love.
Yeah,
it's like I get up there and I play what I want to play because that's what I'm passionate about. It's like I'm not gonna get up there and play house music for a dubstep crowd.
Yeah, man, I definitely got that feel from you when you're up there. You're not bullshitting what you're up there to do. You're representing yourself in the way you want to be seen. I think it's just fucking awesome, and it's just, you know, this opener DJ in my first show, seeing that, I was just like, wow, man.
Yeah, that was my
first. Go to more shows.
Yeah, that was my first show in front of a bigger crowd that like wasn't a wedding or like a school dance house. So that was like the first time I've really been able to like have a crowd where I can play what I wanted to play. Like I could throw anything I wanted in there. Like I was throwing fucking Code Pandorum, I was throwing Snails, it's like all this other genre, like all the artists I love to go see live, I just put them all into my mix. I was like, these are all my favorite songs by all my favorite artists, I'm gonna do this. Because like if I'm DJing at a wedding, I'm not gonna be playing Throwing Elbows, or I'm not going to be playing Fuck a Rhythm or something like that. I'm going to be playing Cake by the Ocean or Shut Up and Dance with Me, because that's what people want to see. But granted, I have done some pretty sick-ass weddings. One of my favorite ones I did, the couple wanted their last song to be Burn Motherfucker Burn by Five Finger Death Punch. And I gladly played that song because that was a song I love to play.
Fuck, man. And here's a funny little story. When I was at that particular show, I don't know if you saw it because you were probably busy doing your thing. Yeah,
I was freaking out on stage. I was like trying not to like look at the crowd because I'm like, oh my god, what is happening? I'm freaking out up there.
There's actually a really good amount of people there. I did not expect that. I was like, wow.
Yeah, going back on all the pictures you took of me, I was looking in the crowd. I was like, huh, there are a lot more people there than I thought there were. Yeah, like I was like, that's like 23 right there. That's not like the back of the room. That's not the side of the room where all the merch vendors were. That's just the people on the dance floor. I was like, holy shit, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I was bending over to get a picture of you, and I just in the fucking dark, and I'm not used to these shows. The smoke machine that spits out the smoke, my face was literally right there, and just shoots everything in my fucking face. And like, if that was a pyrotechnic or something at a real concert,
oh yeah, that would have been bad.
I would have been. Damn, that's just what.
Yeah, more shows I didn't even know we had him for that show. So like, one of the shows I just recently did up in Kenosha, we had a light bar ring like from a truck for a strobe light, and it was right in front of my face, and I didn't know. I thought it was just like a dimmer light, so you could see at the turntables like what your hands are doing and everything, so you're not like squinting really far at it like, what the hell is this thing? And I was like, all right, yeah, whatever. I'm about to hit switch the song really quick, and this strobe goes off, and I'm just blind. I'm like, oh my god, what is happening? And I switched the song, and the photographer got a picture of it, but it's super blurry. I'm just making this stupid face like, what the hell is happening? Because I had no idea that was going to go off when it did, and it just caught me up by so surprise. And like, even at shows where like it can be pyrotechnics, that can be completely dangerous. Like if that were to be fire thrown in your face, that would have stopped the show. We would have to like, the whole show would have been stopped. Like no one else would have played that night because something catastrophic like that happened, like a flamethrower going off in a photographer's head.
Yeah. Fuck, man, I'm glad that was just smoke. Speaking of this club, do you prefer dark show EDM, or do you prefer fest EDM? What do you think?
It really all depends on like what kind of like who's running the lights actually. Like the show I did, I loved it. Like it was nice lighting and everything because it was like I was able to see what I was doing easily, but yet I still knew that like there were visuals behind me. I knew that there were lasers going off in the crowd and everything, but I could still see what I was doing. Like if you're at a festival and it's like 1 in the afternoon and the sun's just like right on top of you and you can't see anything at all, it's kind of weird. Like at night, like sometimes they have lights on stage, so like you can see the turntables or your laptop, so you can see what you're doing and like you don't fall off the stage or something. But it really all just depends on like how the lighting or how the lights are set up. The show I just did up in Kenosha, shout out Tricky J for setting that up. He came through in clutch with that. We had a ton of lights on stage, and like the way they were positioned were awesome, but it's the timing of them that were all pretty off, because like a lot of times, like, my friends are trying to get pictures of me, and there's just, like, a laser in their camera the entire time, and, like, you just can't see anything, or, like, all the light beams are, like, up, so it's just, like, a wall of light in front of me, and, like, you can obviously see me because your eyes can adjust to it. Like, your camera just sees a wall of green, like, right in front of me, and, like, you just can't see anything. So it's all about, like, to me, it's all about the positioning of the lights and how they're all worked out to get, like, good shots, or, like, really be able to, like, interact with the crowd, like, be able to see them and everything. But, like, if I have, like, a laser in my face the entire time, it's not going to be that good, because number one, I'm getting blinded, and I can't see what I'm doing. And then I'm sure I just can't see the crowd and, like, see how they're reacting to it. Like, reading crowds is such a huge part of, like, DJing. You gotta be able to see, like, if they're digging it or not.
Ever think about wearing a helmet?
Oh yeah, definitely, because
I know that's a very popular motif.
That is right now that's huge. Like my boy Funk Case wears a mask every show, and he's a monster for that. That thing is dripping wet at the end of the show. It's like Deadmau5 wears his helmet, but he takes it off like halfway through it to like cool off, because it's got like all the lights in it. So it's like he's got half a gaming computer stuffed inside this little helmet of his, and he's just getting suffocated in there. Like Marshmallow wears his fucking 5-gallon bucket on his head or whatever, has that going with all the lights in it. So that obviously gets really hot. But I have definitely thought about wearing a mask on stage just to like help with the anxiety of like they can't see my face. So it helps a lot, because like believe it or not, when you know people can see your face, it fucks you. You're like, oh no. Like if I wore a mask, man, I would be it'd be so much easier because like no one could see like my facial expressions or anything, and it definitely takes like a step off of like the stage anxiety or like performance anxiety with that, because no one can see your face and like see how you're reacting to it.
Do you think that would get in the way of you connecting with your audience? Is it because they can't see your face, or do you think that that symbol and that motif being front and center might actually help push the kind of level you're trying to set?
It really, like, depending on like how strict you are like with your identity, like some of them, like Marshmello, everyone knows Marshmello is .com. Everyone knows it, but it hasn't been confirmed because he's never taken his mask off on stage. Or when he has, it's been like Zac Efron or Tiesto or just someone playing a little joke on everyone. But like someone like Funkcase, yeah, like he has his mask, but like it's off on like all of his social media. He plays like some like after parties. If he plays an after party, he sometimes has it off. So like people are able to see his face. So like Code Pandora, people can see his face when he has his mask off. Same thing with like Deadmau5. People like, so like if you like I were to see like outside of a venue, it's like walk around the city, I'm like, holy shit, it's Funkcase, holy shit, it's Deadmau5. Like you know who they are, but like if you saw Marshmello outside of a venue, you'd have no idea it was him because he hasn't confirmed his face yet. So like interacting with what they're called like with the mask on definitely can change some things if you're super protective about your identity with it. But really, it's not like, as long as people like know it's you, like like if I were to take my mask off on stage and be like, yep, that's still him, or like they seem like after the show, like I have my mask off, they still know it's me.
Really interesting is the thing with those masks when it comes to motifs and symbols of that scene. I've always, as I said, around the fringes of EDM. I sort of know a good bit about it, but I've never really put myself into it. And even I can recognize some of those people. There's really popular and recognizable figureheads in that scene. And when I think of the metal scene and I think of the hardcore scene, I mean, unless you're really into those places, you'd never recognize those.
Oh yeah, it's like people are always like, well, how do you know like Slipknot? Like how do you know like who they are? It's like they obviously have pictures without their masks on, and it's just memorizing a face to a mask to a voice or whatever. But again, like Marshmello, you're not gonna know it's him. It is .com, but conspiracy theories are conspiracy theories, whatever.
Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert. It's fucking .com, and everyone knows that. But it's all like going to like stages, like it's all about like how you portray yourself like with that mask on. Like Funkcase, like not on stage, his name is James. He's a guy from the UK, super awesome guy. I was actually just playing video games with him last night. Super awesome guy, but like on stage, he has that mask on. He's the masked bastard from the UK. No one fucks with him on stage because he's got that mask on. Same thing like Slipknot, like all their masks are how they believe themselves like are on the inside. It's all like how you portray yourself with that mask. It's like that's your identity on stage. There's like someone like Code Pandora, off stage he's Sven, he's a nice dude and everything, but like on stage he's got that mask with the upside down cross on his forehead and the Joker grin. He's gonna fuck your shit up on stage.
Yeah, it's really theatrical, honestly, when you think about it. And speaking of theatrics, because I keep bringing it back to metal here because that's sort of my basis to
yeah, definitely, like metal's always
to put allusions to what I saw and what I sort of know, because I know that it rhymes. I know these scenes rhyme, and it helps you make sense of the EDM scene and probing you for these questions. And when I think of metal, when it comes to theatrics, I mean, all you can really add is more skulls and more fire. I mean, I guess you could add costumes too, like War or Slipknot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know, man. When it comes to theatrics in the EDM scene, I feel like it's just far more expansive, because you've got these fests like Burning Man, you've got these fests like EDC, and there's some girl at work was telling me about one she's going to in some other close by state that's a dinosaur theme.
Yeah, Los Angeles. That's Extinction
Festival.
Festival.
That would never fucking happen.
Oh yeah, no, it's like you like. I love metal and I love dubstep. Those are two of like my favorite genres ever. I love them both. They're huge influences on my life. But like, granted, if you go to a metal festival, every stage is the same. You got band in the middle, 2 LED screens on the side, big ass flag of their logo behind them.
Theatrics, I feel,
and
only go so far, and it's really pushed.
Yeah, like they got like they got like lasers and strobes and everything. But then there's someone like fucking Excision, who brings this like multi-million-dollar stage production with him. He's got 150,000 watts of slamming sound that just rattles your rib cage for just the sheer power. This gigantic screen behind him that moves up and down and has these crazy visuals on it, like you would never see it like a metal show. Just because, and like all the lights go perfectly with those songs. and it's definitely a huge change from like dubstep and like EDM to metal, because like metal shows that it's always band plays the set.
It looks like it cuts out after 20 minutes. All right, yeah, I'll have to keep that in mind for the future. Shit.
All right, yeah, no problem. Yeah, but like seeing like Excision twice in 1 year, he'll play this one set like in February, and then if I were to go see him like November, he'd play a completely different set. Granted, he would still play some of the same songs because his visuals are all linked to those songs, but that's how quickly the EDM scene changes. Like, people throw out like thousands and thousands like little like local DJs, bedroom DJs, and like producers, or these huge guys that are playing main stages at like Lost Lands and EDC and EZoo and everything. Everything changes so quick in that on that scene. It's incredible because like you can see someone 4 times in 1 year, and every time it's going to be a completely different show.
Fuck, man, I had no idea that they're pushing out content that bad.
Oh yeah, like there are like with metal, like yeah, you've got like the huge heavy hitter bands, Slipknot, Five Finger, Disturbed, Metallica, all of them, but they take like the other music is so highly produced and they need so much time to make it that they can only put on an album every 2 years or so. But like granted, Excision puts out an album every 2 years, but it's like an 18-song album, and then in between that he does a remix album of all of his like friend DJs, like Dadsick, everyone else, my boy Dadsick, and like other artists like open for him. He's like, hey, remix my track and I'll put it on my remix album. So he does it. He's very professional about it because he does do the album every 2 years for his fans that will just like want all this new music and everything. But then once in a while he releases like a single every couple of months just to like keep the freshness and like keep the music flowing with his fans. And then he drops a remix album, so everyone gets those same songs they loved on that album, and then they get their favorite DJs that remixed it.
Right, like a community project second version of all your favorite songs.
Yeah, exactly. Like, people are always throwing out like remixes. Like, there's always like the kid in his mom and dad's garage just making mixes and like doing his best to like throw these remixes together. And sadly, some people will never that remix will never see the light of day. But there are people like my good friend Dion. He remixed a track called "On the Floor" by AFK, and AFK loved it so much he sent it to Excision, and now Excision was blown away by it. And then now Dion Timmer is opening up for Excision. He's playing main stage at Lost Lands. He's touring around by himself. The kid, he's like 19 and he's doing all this because it's all about like the networking with it too, like being able to talk to the right people and like get your music out. And it's crazy just again how fast the EDM scene changes. Like, what was being thrown, like the song everyone played last year is definitely the same as every song that's played this year. Like, there are always like those couple of songs, like every dubstep set you go to, you'll hear those songs. You'll hear Throwing Elbows, you'll hear Jotaro, you'll hear Like a Bitch, you'll hear Die a Boss. And because those songs are just so amazing, like the artist definitely put in the work for it, and they blew up off of that. And it's crazy again, it's like how fast it changes and how many artists can just explode in like 1 year. And
they honestly really are exploding, and it's totally built from the ground up for that, not only because their pace of production of the music is so quick, but because mostly, I mean, as far as I know, most of these people are solo artists. They don't have a band. Honestly, it probably takes a lot longer to learn an instrument than it takes to do remixes and produce electronic music. This is just, it's not an art form that your father is passing down to you as a young kid.
Yeah, this is when you gotta drop like $400 on like Fruity Loops or something and be like, all right, I gotta teach myself this.
Yeah, for sure. And just, I mean, you have these figureheads. They're one guy when it comes to other genres of music. You have a band you have to contest with. You all have to get together. You all have to fucking move everyone everywhere you have to go. You share the loot with all these people. And when you make music, you have to do it with 5 or 6 people. You're not making the music by yourself.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The process is so much slower.
Yeah, like with being like a dubstep producer, you can sit in your basement for 6 hours a day working on a song, and then at the end of the day, you're like, I don't need anyone's approval. This is my song. I'll do whatever the hell I want. I want with this. And definitely, there is a lot of learning aspect to producing music with the thousands of plugins that you can do, the probably millions of samples that are online just to try to make your own like special sound. And now there are programs like Splice out there where you can pay by the sample. You can pay for sample packs. Like all your favorite artists now are making sample packs.
I am a little familiar with that. I've checked out a few loops. I have Fruity Loops on my computer.
Yeah,
And
see
I never,
right there.
Yeah,
I was like,
really,
hey, I use
I
that
never really
shit.
messed with it all too.
Oh
much,
my god,
but
it's like flying a fucking spaceship.
Yeah, I have looked a little bit into the sample packs, and I've downloaded stuff, and I've like messed with things. And I've made some weird products, but
yeah, it's definitely a very large learning curve. It is. That program is so powerful, and it's like YouTube can only show you so much of it, and the rest of it you just gotta like mess around and then poke at it and figure out like how it's done.
Fuck with the process.
Oh yeah, like Fruity Loops is one of the easiest production softwares to learn, and like I got like the little free version of it. I'm trying to make like a simple drum beat. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like I have no, like
everyone's first experience.
Oh yeah, like I have no idea what's like
drum beat.
Yeah, like I have no idea what's happening. It's like I know like how to drag and drop the samples and everything, but like trying to get like the da 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 going, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like all my artist friends, like my friend Uber, shout out Uber, he's a fucking god. He's always like, dude, it's pretty simple. He's like, always just like go on YouTube and like check it out. I was like, yeah, I would do that, but you know how I learned my 3D modeling software? Someone fucking taught it to me, dude.
Yeah.
I had someone hold my hand through this shit, and then I figured the rest of it out.
Are you finding that people, big names, are still using Fruity Loops?
Oh fuck yeah! It's one of the like. Really, the like two DAWs I see a lot of people use is Fruity Loops or Ableton, and Ableton is definitely a very, very powerful music production software. But if you have a Windows computer, you can't fucking run it. Windows will just crash it every time. Like people like Excision uses Fruity Loops because it's a super simple DAW to use, and you can get good sound quality out of it. You get awesome samples. It's very simple to use. It's colorful. That always helps.
Yeah.
To me, I don't like Ableton that much because it's just gray and black. Sure, you can color some things in it, but Fruity Loops does a very good job at organizing the colors. One thing is like I want my drum beats to be red. I want my guitar riffs to be blue. I want my bass kicks to be green. And it's very colorful with it too. So you're like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then like with Ableton, like yeah, you can still color it, but it's like a very bland color. Like it'll just be like waveforms black, and then behind it is just like a solid brick of neon green. But like on Fruity Loops, like it's pretty cool because like you get like the gray waveforms, the colors faded from the outside of it, and looks very. It definitely looks very cool. It's a very simple program to use, but it's fucking impossible at the same time if you have no idea what the hell you're doing. Because it's like you have these hundreds of things you can like do, and you're like, what the hell does any of this do? You have like no idea because like you might need this thing to run this thing properly. You need to do this, and it's crazy. But definitely, like, it is a very simple program to learn. I have gotten better at it with the couple of hours I've thrown on it because I've definitely just like picked up like, okay, this is how this works. But it is definitely like, again, like what you said. Music production, like EDM wise, is not something your father passes down. Yeah. This is something you have to download and teach yourself through hours and hours and hours.
I actually wrote a fucking research paper. I was doing in a journalism class in college, and our question for sort of our final exam in the class was to write about a new piece of technology that has really influenced, let's say, the first world. And I said open source mixing.
Oh, honestly, yeah, definitely.
Holy shit. Like, these mixing programs have changed the face of music. I remember when we were in middle school, and I want to get your opinion on this. Why do you think dubstep blew up when we were so young? Why did dubstep just blow up off sudden?
Yeah, people, I was like,
me, that was a lot of people's first introduction to this hard EDM scene.
Yeah, dubstep, like, people always portrayed dubstep as Skrillex dropping Bangarang back in 2010 or Scary Much Nice Sprites, and like I don't really know like why it blew up like then. It was probably just because like it was just like the raw power of it, and it's like it was definitely very, very what's the fucking word for it? Controversial back then. Because like not a lot of people were doing it, but if you knew what you were doing with it, it sounded very, very good. And definitely Skrillex is definitely one of the people that is the reason I do what I do. I remember
he brought it to the main.
Oh yes, he took it out of the underground clubs in the bottom of a laundromat and threw that shit onto the main stage. And like seeing him throw his hair around, like jumping back and forth down stage and like yelling at the crowd to get their hands up and shit, that definitely changed like what people think about dubstep. Like if you ask someone like, hey, do you like dubstep? You're like, what, fucking Skrillex? People still say that, but like, yeah, like Skrillex hasn't done anything in like 3 years. He's dropped like a couple of remixes, but like, yeah, but Skrillex is definitely like, he definitely did blow it up. That to me, the artist that like blew it out of proportion for me, that like got me huge into it was Skrillex, Deadmau5, and Feed Me.
Yeah.
Those were the 3 people that I heard, and I was like, what the fuck? They like, I went home like the first day I heard them. Knife Party definitely. Yes,
yeah,
Knife Party were the fucking goats. Yeah, everyone knew fucking Knife Party. They always knew Internet Friends, Centipede.
Yeah,
they always knew those heavy-hitting songs. And like, yeah, like discovering those artists back in like fucking 7th grade, Skrillex, Knife Party, Deadmau5, Feed Me. I went home and I bought all their albums. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. I just listened to shit all day.
I got Skrillex's like Scary Monsters Nice Sprites on the TV there. Way back then. It was like one of the first albums I ever bought.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
I think Bangarang was like the first dubstep album I ever bought. Because did it stop again?
Yeah, we're gonna cut this here. Resume. Yeah, I want to bring it back to discovering this music sort of when, let's say we were in middle school. I'm 20 now, but back then, what year was that?
Let's see, I was like, shit.
Do math.
I was 13.
13.
I was 13 when I discovered dubstep, and I'm 18 right now.
13 or 14, and I remember back then a really pronounced question that everyone was asking. I was like, is this music? I remember fucking so many people asking that.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Everyone's like, this isn't music. This is a guy hitting a space bar.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's really not. It's like you don't see the hundreds of hours behind what they just did. And it's like people today are still like, oh, you just hit a fucking space bar live. And now when I do that, I literally, like, some guy like told me that when I was, I don't know where the fuck I was. I was just somewhere, and I was making like a pre-mix thing, just like trying to figure out like what songs go together before a show. And he's like, "What are you just hitting the fucking space bar?" I cleared everything off my software, turned my laptop around, and set it in front of him. I was like, "Make me a fucking song." And he's like,
"Space bar."
Yeah, like press the space bar, and he pressed it, and it was just silent. And he's like, and he just had no idea what was happening. I was like, "All right, let's keep your mouth shut." And I turned my laptop back on, and I went back to what I was doing. It's like, people are still like ignorant about that stuff. Like, they don't see the hundreds of hours and like time away from like their families and like not going out with their friends just to like finish this one song.
That's like, got to be so frustrating as someone who
definitely
produces music. Because I mean, I know when I get hit with that music's just angry. That music is just label it all, let's say screamo or why do they scream the lyrics? I can't understand them, shit like that.
Yeah, you gotta understand the meaning before you judge the screaming.
Art.
Oh yeah, like definitely that's like, yeah, you do have the people like fucking
like, let me give you a history lesson right now.
Yeah, it's like you just want to like sit them down and be like, all right, bitch, listen up. But then there are people like your top 40 shit. There's no like band or anything behind it. It's some bitch or dude with a okay-ish, in my opinion, set of vocal cords. Now, granted, there are the fucking phenomenal top 40 producers like Adele. It's like they just have these amazing voices, but most of them just sing, and then they have their producer make all the instruments behind it. It's kind of all the drums.
How removed those artists are from.
Oh yeah, all they do is like fucking Taylor Swift. Granted, I don't know anything about her at all, but from just shit that I've heard and like I've read about, she breaks up with the dude, writes a sad song about it, goes in the studio, sings it, and then has her producer make the instruments, the drums, all behind it. There's
radio.
It's so like it's just overproduced.
Your local Aeropostale official soundtrack.
Yeah,
like they're trying to get those plays. That's the market they're playing to.
Yeah, it's like it's just so produced. It's like trying to eat 3D printed food. It's like it's just so overproduced. And someone like Slipknot or like some huge metal band, they gotta write the vocals. They gotta write the guitar riffs that go over it.
I feel like that's why more people are moving into EDM, and I would say honestly, I feel like more people are moving into hardcore metal. Maybe not so much mainstream metal these days. I feel like our bands are sort of becoming.
Definitely.
Dad's band.
Yeah,
like your dad has his band. I feel like those bands, like the 2000s, call it generic metal, call it what you want.
Yeah.
But I feel like those bands have almost become like our dad bands, and I feel like most of the young kids are
like
getting
all the bands that I love to go see.
Really, just like, I don't know. I see a lot of people going into hardcore these days. I don't know if it's just because I'm in that scene or EDM, but that's the way I see it.
Yeah,
Kind of like the new age of rappers.
It's definitely all changing.
It's almost like Kanye and Drake are your dad's rappers.
Yeah, it's like the people like.
I mean, people are saying that about Eminem this very week.
Oh yeah,
like,
he just dropped that fucking Kamikaze album.
And people are saying, I mean, this guy had his time in his day, and there's a whole new scene, and all the listeners are completely different than they used to be.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like
asking what the viability of this music is anymore.
Yeah, it's like all the bands like I love to go see, like Five Finger, fucking Slipknot, Metallica, Disturbed. Who else have I seen recently? Like Korn.
Over here, didn't they?
Who?
Tinley? Is that Five Finger?
Yeah, Five Finger just played there a couple weeks ago. Yeah, they played there. Yeah, they played there a couple weeks ago. But it's like they're all. Like, granted, I still love them. They're all still very, very talented artists and everything, but they're all getting old. So it's like they definitely are gonna have to like slow down and everything. But it's like I would kill to go see fucking Slipknot back in like 2003 when they're all like beating each other up on stage. They're literally choking each other out. Just like having that energy and everything. But like nowadays, it's like I don't really like. It's sad to say, like I don't really see like the next Slipknot, like the next band everyone wants to go see. Like there's like I think like the biggest band I've seen blown up right now was Code Orange, and it's like they're fucking phenomenal artists. I fucking love them. They're phenomenal artists. But like, there's always like the big four bands. Like everyone
know about them.
Oh fuck yeah, I know about them. Like everyone must go see. Like in the '80s, it was Metallica, Slayer, Anthrax, and Megadeth. And then in like the mid 2000s, it was Korn, Disturbed, Slipknot, and Five Finger. Or maybe drop Five Finger for somebody else of your choice. I don't really know. First band I thought of. But like now that like they're all in like their late 30s, early 40s. Who's gonna come and take those big four spots? Like same thing with like dubstep. Like there are the heavy hitting artists that have been around forever. Skrillex, Deadmau5, Excision, Datsick, fucking what's his face, Schism. But again, people are eventually going to come in and like become like those next artists people want to go see. Like they're always selling out their fucking big giant production shows, and it's like you don't see anyone blowing up like that anymore. Like it's kind of sad to see it, but it's like when people are like discovering Slipknot, you're like, these guys are gonna get big. Like you just like knew it. But then like, you know, like there are other very very good metal bands, but like all the metal festivals I've been to, the headliners are always like the guys that have been around forever. It's like they got like they always maybe got like one or two.
Hurting for money.
Oh yeah.
Poor metal fests.
RIP. Yeah, RIP Chicago opener this year, man.
Open air didn't happen this year.
Yeah, I was sad about that.
Was that for financial reasons? Did they skip it to?
They probably just didn't have a lineup to be honest, but they did like the Avenged and Prophets of Rage, Five Finger, and whatever band just played with Bad Wolves or something like that. But like they definitely like. Sadly, like the hard-hitting genres, like metal, is definitely slowing down, and it's sad to see that. Because it's like going to like a metal fest, it's always the same couple of bands on the main stage, and it's like, who's gonna come and like take their spot like when they have to be done? Sadly,
honestly, I hate to keep bringing it up and saying it like this, but honestly, I am seeing these hardcore bands growing in those headlines. I'm seeing them shoot to the top.
Oh yeah, and it's awesome seeing that.
Shows at, let's say, your House of Blues.
Oh yeah, definitely
around here, or the Bottom Lounge around here.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like they have shows every few months. Like they have their scene, and they have up there, and people are, and they're selling out.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know, man. Most of the young guys in the metal these days, it's either like, I feel like it's either hardcore
or it's metalcore. Like no one's doing their
kind of dying too, to be honest.
Like no one's doing like their double bass, like fast snares, like their screaming vocals anymore. Everyone's doing like the breakdowns and the heavy chugs, like the growling. It's like, granted, I love that shit.
Are you familiar with Midwest Blood? Have you ever heard that phrase?
I've never heard of them.
I just know a guy who's sort of in the scene, and I'm actually thinking about having him on and talk to him about it because I want to know a lot more about this. There is this sort of group, and I mean, there's groups in EDM too. You can, people who probably show up with all neon things. You have, hula hoopers.
You definitely have the people like.
You've got people who go there just to party. You got people who go there to trip out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, you've got these identity groups and people who go to these shows for these specific reasons. This particular group in hardcore, and I'm just gonna name another one, is one of the groups you might have heard is like Straight Edge. You ever heard of Straight Edge?
I've heard it like once maybe.
Straight Edge is something that exists both in punk, exists in metal, and it's guys who completely refrain from drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, I don't really fuck with drugs that much at shows. Like, to me, like, I go to the shows at the huge production, like Excision, or like small underground show in fucking some club in Crystal Lake. I just go somewhere, like, enjoy it a lot more to me. Plus, I drive most of the time, so I don't want to drive under the influence.
I don't know. Just to quickly finish up what I was saying about Midwest Blood, but this Midwest Blood scene is all about crowd. Apparently, all about crowd killing. It's for the heart. It's for the hardest bands, the hardest motherfuckers, the true diehards. Apparently, from what I've sort of gathered on the fringes of hearing about it, and these guys they rep the merch so hard. Holy shit, like daily.
Yeah, there are definitely people like that where you're like,
take it off.
Yeah, you're like, dude.
It's like a really committed brotherhood. I
want
to ask more about it, find out more. But I'll bring it back to that drug scene and connecting it with this too. People look at hardcore and they look at metal, and from an outside perspective, I hear a lot that they think it's extremely dangerous. Like, these people, they can hit each other, they can hurt each other. I've seen fucking countless bloody noses.
Oh yeah, dude, I've seen some crazy shit at metal shows. And, like,
I fought more men than I remember. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Like, you get some fucked up people at metal shows. Definitely.
When you think about EDM and metal, your gut reaction.
Oh yeah, the crowds are completely different.
Your gut reaction is to look at metal and think that that's extremely violent, reckless, and dangerous. But I feel like, and tell me if I'm wrong, I feel like more people dying in electric shows.
That's mostly okay. Like, if someone were to die at like a metal show, or not a metal show, sorry, my bad. Like an electric show, it's mostly because of laced drugs that they don't test, which sadly I have seen people do some laced shit or like test it and then be like, I almost just did that. Or
shit.
They're just like they're not drinking enough, like they're popping like 4 tabs or like 4 fucking whatever you call it of Molly, and then not drinking any water, and then they just get dehydrated, and then sadly they die.
Yeah.
And it's like that happened at Lollapalooza. Some 16-year-old kid died because he didn't know his own limits.
Yeah, I heard about that at work. What band was that? Was it Franz Ferdinand?
I think it was, yeah, but like, it's heartbreaking to see that shit. Like, that's like, Lollapalooza had like a great lineup. I would have gone, but fuck that crowd. I hate the Lollapalooza crowd.
Oh yeah. Let's bring it back to that club or fest. Do you feel like there's a really big divide between the people at EDM clubs versus EDM fest? Because I feel like it's a totally different scene. Because these are people who are going to underground, people they want to support, like, almost directly. And they're smaller shows, so they're far more personal. You're more likely to see the artist afterward. And then you have these festivals, which are like, as everyone knows, it's a much more commoner ground for this scene. So you have a lot more people who aren't as, let's say, embodiments of the virtues of, let's say, your scene. Like, and I don't know, everyone knows the fucking Instagram girl who goes to all the fests just for the picture.
Oh yeah, there's always that one fucking girl that like magically got on stage and takes a selfie with the DJ and puts on Twitter, "Life's a fucking or like my life's a movie" or some shit.
Man.
It's like, they're like, yeah, I was there like a couple nights, like for first time I met Snails, he brought me backstage and everything. I was like, I met like all the artists. I'm all super good friends with all of them now. And
fest models. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, fest models. Oh yeah. They're definitely there. But like, it's like the crowd aspect of like festivals and like clubs and like venues is, to me, it's all age restriction. Like Lollapalooza is an all ages show.
That too. I didn't even think about that.
That's one of the huge reasons I do not go to Lolla. It's because it's all ages. So there's always like this 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Fucking SoundCloud rap fan kids that get like all their fucking fake IDs and buy fucking $40 grams of weed because they have no idea what the fuck they're doing, and then they just piss off everyone at the show because they don't know how to control themselves in an environment with 400,000 people at a festival, or they don't know how to control themselves on drugs, or they don't really know how to like enjoy the music. And it's like, that's definitely a huge, like, I hate like when people do that. Like, they just go to the shows like just to do drugs. It's like, no, go to the fucking show to support the artist. Go to have fun. Go to hang out with your friends. Don't go to just get fucked up. It's so stupid.
I gave it some thought before I asked you this question, because I know it's kind of a controversial question when it comes to the dangerousness of these shows, and obviously, passions get high when you talk to people, both outside and inside at this point. And I thought about this, and I mean, I'm on the fringes of EDM, so I don't really know. Do you think it's because that is a sort of individual danger versus communal danger? Because I think in the metal scene, I feel like if someone gets to the critical point of, let's say, hospitalization, it's almost got to be the fault of the people around that person. Where if you take way too much drugs and you're having a seizure in the middle of the show, no one can just pick you up off the ground from that. Not like in a metal show, if you get knocked out by an elbow, no one can just pick you up. It's like a very individual.
Yeah,
and
it's like,
I think that might be why you always hear about people dying at these shows. And when was the last time you heard about people dying at a metal show? I mean, I guess you got like Lollapalooza, but
that's not metal. That's
not metal.
That's SoundCloud rap and EDM. Like, that's pretty much all it is.
And then maybe you throw some washed up rock artists on there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just fill the fucking roster. But
oh yeah,
I think that might be it. One of my coworkers who's sort of into the scene was telling me that sometimes when she goes to shows, people are so messed up that they can't even get inside, and they'll be like passed out on the lawn.
Oh yeah, definitely. Enter. Yeah, definitely. There are always I personally just enjoy them more, but I do have friends that do go to shows and like they don't get fucking destroyed, but they do some drugs and there are people that cannot handle their drugs at all, and they're like going up to people that just like pegging at the side of their face and just like whispering in their ear and shit, like being fucking creeps about it, but like. Thankfully, like all the friends that I go to shows with and that they do drugs, I can't even fucking tell they're on drugs. Like, they are very good at controlling themselves and everything. They're very responsible about it. They're not doing like a fucking pound of coke before the show. They're like one of the friends I went to a show with recently. They're like, I'm gonna go in the bathroom. I'm gonna do some coke. I was like, knock your fucking socks off. Right. I don't care. And like, I was it back. I had all night. I had no fucking idea that they were wired.
Yeah, I know a few people like that. I know.
Yeah, it's all about how you can handle it. Like, if you can't handle your drugs, don't fucking do them. Because you're going to ruin everybody else's fucking day. You're going to embarrass yourself. And if you know what it is, I don't know how many people that watch this know what this is. If you end up on an EDM Chicago, you're fucked. You are so done. You do not want to be on EDM Chicago in a bad way. It's some Facebook page. It's the unofficial EDM Chicago. Like there's the official one, and there's the unofficial one. The unofficial one is like a fucking bounty hunter bar. It is the most fucked up place for scum and villains in the fucking. You cannot post anything in that fucking group without getting roasted. Someone will you can literally say, I brought democracy to Cuba, and someone will just be like, no, fuck you, you don't deserve this, and like they'll just blow you up about it. It's hilarious. But yeah, there are always like the people on there that are just like, oh, like you see a post on there, like it was like just made, like no one's commenting, you're like, you're fucked, and like you just know that they're done. But EDM Chicago, like if you want some comedy, join that fucking page. Yeah. There is some funny shit on there.
Are there pages where it's like EDM cringe, where they have like people who obviously are like EDM, a public freak out.
Yeah, it's EDM Chicago. There was like a video of someone at North Coast. She was fucking drugged off her mind. Yeah. And she's like scratching people like a cat, like biting them. Man. And like the police are like holding her down on the ground. And then now like everyone knows who she is. Like, and like they have her face, they have her name, like that's everything. Rough. And now it's like everyone in that page is like, don't be a Kathy.
She's always gonna be.
Oh yeah, she's always gonna be like that person. Like 1 or 2 years ago, there's this dude called Paul. If you're EDM Chicago, you know Paul. He's a fucking guy. Like he's not famous in EDM Chicago for like anything bad. It's just like, I don't know if he was under, but he was making a face like because some girls like dancing on him, and his face was priceless, and it's just memed everywhere now. Like one of my good friends, Smirk, he uses it for his visuals at Spring Awakening. He just had his face on the visual boards. Like it's not like. To be honest, like Paul's fame is fucking awesome. Like the reason he's famous in EDM Chicago is hilarious. I love it.
That brings me to something I have been dying to ask someone who knows something about this scene, and it is a meme. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you fucking ready for this question? What is up with Rick and Morty? Bro, explain that.
I honestly, it's just one of, it's just.
What is it? It's everywhere. I went there and it was everywhere. What is it?
Because it is fucking everywhere. I don't know. Like the direct correlation with it, it's probably just like one of the shows where people just like want to smoke weed to and like watch, and like it's super like it's an interesting show. Don't get me wrong, I fucking love watching this show.
I do too. I seen
but
all
like,
of it.
but it's also just like it's super easy to like get artwork off of it too. Like people are always like wearing shirts of like Rick and Morty tripping on acid, like drooling and everything. Oh yeah, people like I don't know like the direct reason like why it's so big, but there are some kick-ass songs that people have made with samples from Rick and Morty.
I've heard those too.
Yeah,
so shareable.
I play one called Planet Purge by Midnight Tyrannosaurus, and it's awesome because if you play a song, everyone fucking knows it because the drop is I'm gonna rip your fucking guts out and smear them all over your face.
Yeah, I've heard
and
that
everyone knows that song because like when like an artist cuts the volume for it, the entire crowd screams it, and it's because everyone fucking knows it because it's Rick and Morty. But now I don't know the huge like why it's like, so big in EDM.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to the zeitgeist reason why
you'd have to
I'm so well with
I don't
music.
I don't know like I don't know why it clicks so well, but
its way into the music. I mean, it's honestly incredible.
Yeah,
its influence.
I honestly don't know the exact reason like why it's so big, but it's definitely like in my opinion, it's definitely a drug thing. It's definitely a fucking drug thing.
I mean, yeah, I get that feel too. You see, like the trippy visuals, and I want to talk to you about that too. I mean, bringing it back to the motifs and styles. There were so many interesting styles I saw at that show, and I was talking to my coworker about it too. I mean, you go to a metal show, the color palette you're gonna see is just every shade of gray you can think of. All black and white.
It's black or a dude dressed as Jesus. It's like that's fucking it.
Maybe you fucking have someone like in a mascot or like a hockey jersey in there too. Like you'll see like a white hockey jersey.
You'll definitely see those. But it's like even like EDM shows, like it's still like. There are the people like I'm good friends with or that I know that put a lot of time in like their rave outfit wearing like the bright colors, the fishnets, the makeup, the glitter, all like the crystals and everything.
Bring it back to the theatrics. It's really theatrical.
Oh yeah, and people that like put like the effort into it, they are beautiful. Like some of those fucking beautiful people I see, I always ask for pictures of them. I'm just like so blown away by like how awesome their outfits are.
Yeah.
It's like when I go, I wear fucking ripped up jeans, shorts, and a black shirt. Yeah. Because like I don't have the money. I'm not really into like the huge like I'm gonna fucking wear a shit ton of colors. Like I like granted like if I go I do wear like if I own a piece of the merch that the artist is saying I will wear their merch.
Yeah.
But it's always a fucking black shirt and like black jeans or whatever. Because like that's just my style. But it's like everyone definitely does have their style, and I do love the people that like put like all this fucking effort in like their rave outfits, and it's so beautiful like see them all there and they're like I look fucking like everyone like. One of the biggest things I've related it to is like prom and EDM. It's like when you go to prom, everyone like just like everyone is just like so nice and everyone's commenting to like, oh my god, you look so beautiful today. Oh my god, you look so good. Like your hair looks amazing. Same thing at a fucking EDM like an EDM show. Everyone's like, oh my god, you look fucking amazing. You look so beautiful with this. You look so amazing. Blah blah blah. Like first time I saw Excision, I was in jeans and an Excision t-shirt.
I wish my fucking prom was an EDM show. It would have been a lot better.
Oh yeah, right? No, but like I was wearing jeans and an Excision shirt, and some guy was like, dude, I love your fucking outfit, man. It's awesome. I was like, and like he was wearing like a reflective coat, had like a ton of like glitter on his face. He had like fiber optics running up his arms, so like his arms were like glowing. And I was like, dude, yours is fucking awesome. Like, look at you, man. It's like you put like all this effort into it and everything. It's like I'm wearing jeans, and he's like, no, dude. You're like you wore what you loved, and you think, and like you look awesome in it, and everyone here thinks you look awesome in it. And like that's like the beauty of it. Like everyone there is so fucking nice at those shows. Like I can like people always like how do you describe the crowds? Like I just can't. Like there's just so many awesome things about the crowds at those shows. Like everyone's there for the same reason. Everyone loves each other there. They're all enjoying the music. They're all dancing together. It's all just so beautiful. Like seeing everyone there. Like no, it doesn't matter where you're from, what color your skin is, your sexuality, your political views, or anything. Everyone there is there for the same reason, and it's the music. And everyone's just dancing together. They're all dancing. They're all singing together. They're all doing drinks together, and like everyone's just having such a good time together, and it's beautiful to see that.
Yeah, man, you can't get that kind of experience outside these fucking
you honestly
low-tier scenes, honestly. Because I mean, even at festivals to a certain extent, because I've been to festivals, but I've been to a hell of a lot more shows and some dingy ass hole in the wall.
Oh yeah.
When I've been to fests, and I think it. I mean, at least in metal, there's a real emphasis on brotherhood and
definitely
and honor and you know, individuality. And when it comes to and maybe it's just because the danger level is sort of heightened at some of those shows. I find that everyone is I wouldn't say neutral, but they're very off-putting when it comes to conflict. Like everyone understands the social contract of, let's say, the hardcore dance, or I mean, everyone there knows that they could get hurt. They understand the risk. They're taking part, and if someone goes down, they're getting picked up. And if someone needs to tie their, I don't know, let's just say tie their shoe, as simple as that is, other people will shield that person.
Oh yeah, I see that all the time. And it's awesome to see that.
It's so fucking communal. And
and they're like at like EDM shows, there are definitely people that are like, hey, you fall, you get back up. It's like
I try to like
everyone stops and you pick them up. You don't kick them while they're down. But now, granted, same thing at EDM shows and metal shows. There's always gonna be an asshole that will kick you while you're down.
Yeah, I mean, crowds got their drunk.
Oh yeah, and like, there's always the people that are just like super annoying. You're just like, dude, just what the fuck are you doing?
I have never ever seen someone drunk and causing a ruckus at a metal show that wasn't taken out by the crowd before security got there.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Not once.
First time I went to open air.
A lot of times.
I was in a mosh pit for Upon a Burning Body. Shout out those guys. Those are fucking awesome. I love them. And some guy like ripped off a girl's shirt. And like you just don't fucking do that. Like if you do that, like even outside of a fucking show, you're gonna get your ass kicked.
Yeah, you're gonna.
Like I don't know like why this guy. I don't know why he thought this was funny or like anything, but he did it, and everyone just stopped and stood and just beat the shit out of him. Like he was on the ground, the pit was around him, and they had to open the crowd up and have him dragged out by security. And this one guy, like, he just ran up to the girl and it's like hugged her so no one could see her. And then like when everything comes out, he took his shirt off and gave her his shirt. And the shirt was signed by someone because there was a signature on the back of it. And I was like, that's fucking sick. Like, to be honest, like, hey, you obviously don't have a fucking shirt. Take my, like, it's obviously signed by someone, but you need this more than I do right now. It's acceptable for a dude to run without a shirt under the fucking festival.
I've seen some crazy.
Yeah, like there's always that one asshole, and you're just like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? But there will always be that asshole in a crowd. Like any show you like, even at like a rap show, there's always gonna be that asshole.
I'm sure there is, even though I've never been to one. Yeah, man, there's some real brother to brother like miracle shit.
Definitely.
I remember once. Fuck, man, who was I seeing? I was seeing someone. Maybe it was Turnstile or something. It was some. No, I don't think it was them. It was someone hard. I think someone really fucking hard. And this music was so hard that essentially every single person in the crowd just turned into a caveman. Like,
oh yeah, like
fucking teeth sticking out.
Yeah, everyone just gets like everyone just like flips primal mode, and like they're all walking around like growling at each other
in the dark. Like honestly, everyone turned into just Cro-Magnon apes. Like, it was definitely most fucking. There's a Mongoloid. That's the word I'm looking for. Like, they're all fucking like.
They're all fucking
honestly,
Mongoloids.
we all reverted to these like primitive humans, just expressing ourselves and.
Oh, definitely.
In super raw forms, and in the midst of that, this dad has this little kid, and in the midst of it, even through all of that shit, that kid is able to safely crowd surf from the back of the show to the front.
I love that shit because like you fuck with the kid and like if I see you fucking with the little kid at a show, I will kick your ass. I'm not a very big person, but if I see you fucking with the little kid at a show, I will go to you and I will say something. I will tell you to go fuck yourself. Like if an artist sees it, you're fucked. There's some video of Five Finger,
the little kid, and gave him like a fist bump.
Oh yeah, like see that shit is like awesome. Like when I saw Five Finger back at Open Air like 2 years ago, they were playing some heavy songs like this is where the pit gets opened up, and like this little girl was on her mom's shoulder, and she's like, sweetheart, come on stage. And he brought the little girl on stage, and so like she's on stage, like she gets to dance. Like I don't even know how old she was, easily like single digit age. Yeah. But like she's on stage, she's wearing a Kale Thulu shirt, which is the bassist of Five Fingers. Name is Chris Kale, and he was like like, so like he signed her shirt, like she got like, and the little girl got like picks, got drumsticks and everything, and then she got to sing part of The Bleeding, which was like the next song. And I thought it was like, I think that's the most beautiful thing ever. It was like when like an artist is like, you're gonna come on stage, like it's like, I know everyone here like is protective, but you're gonna come on stage.
Yeah, man.
Because like he's like, I know you will be safe on stage. And it was like, seeing that is like, it's so like amazing. It's like you're like, it even like shows like some guy like threw a kid over his shoulder and like dropped him on his head at a Five Finger show, and the singer stopped the show. He's like, everyone fucking stop, and he called the guy out. He's like, you get the fuck out of this venue and you apologize right now. And like he's like, I am not playing this song until you apologize. It's like, you don't like he's a little kid at a show, like you don't fuck with him.
Yeah.
It's like I went to go see Slayer back in May, and there were like a ton of little kids in like the back of the crowd like enjoying the show, and this guy opened up a pit and he had all the little kids in it. So like all the little kids are like moshing, like he's on his knees, like he's like picking them up, and he's he's like just like messing around with the kids.
Awesome.
Like it's so cool seeing that. But then, granted, that one asshole wasn't there, but that one asshole that he would watch and just like fucking Spartan kicked the little kid. But like I'm so glad that him like looking over like seeing like all these little kids like jumping around like this little mosh was like, it was like the most like you just couldn't help but smile. Like this is so fucking cool.
It's crazy that just as someone who's grown up going to metal shows my whole life, and I try to tell people who have never been to a metal show and just see it as screaming and don't really understand the art or why people go to these shows, why they do these dances, why they dress the way they do, what their highest values are related, in this scene to these people.
Oh yeah.
My whole life I have tried to get people who don't understand to understand.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that.
It's profound. I cannot find this type of care and brotherhood and party anywhere.
Like outside of those shows, it's just like not there.
It doesn't exist. You can't recreate it, and everyone goes there already knowing what's going to be done, what has to be done.
Definitely.
It's fuck, man.
It's like
the hype on the way.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to get people to understand why I go to these shows, why I do.
I love going to these shows, and like
I don't think it's possible to know, honestly, unless
you cannot know until you've experienced it.
Unless you've been in the crowd, in the pit, you've seen these people put themselves at risk for the love of these values. And
definitely,
it's just so fucking amazing, and I feel like there's a lot of that in EDM I have never seen before, and I am sure it's in there.
I don't care who you are or what kind of music you like. If you hate dubstep, you need to experience the paradox in your life. Like, my friends always bag on me for like, oh, you like dubstep, it's just fucking noise or whatever. But I was like, they don't, like, I try to explain it, but you just can't explain it.
No,
man. The
really
atmosphere of those crowds, like, I'm a firm believer in everyone in the universe needs to experience an excision paradox in their life. But like, it is like you need to experience like your body vibrating from the sound. You need to see the lights. You need to see the lasers.
The first bass drum kicks of any show.
Oh yes.
Oh.
You need to see the lights. You need to feel the sound there. You need to see the visuals. You need to just feel the music there. It's like nothing ever compares to like the crowd at EDM show. Like, it is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And I've seen the Grand Canyon in Niagara Falls.
Tell me what...
Not the Grand Canyon, I just said that.
Oh, yeah. Tell me what EDM dances you've seen. Because when I went to your little show, I saw, like, dances. Like, I could look at them and I knew, like, that's
people
a
are...
dance.
Oh, yeah, people...
It rhymes with metal. Like, I just know it in my soul looking at it. I'm like, that's a thing.
There are people doing like flow arts, like the lights on like the fingertips are always like making like light shows with their hands. They got like the fiber optic whips, right? They're wrapping around their body, and it's just like a giant like light stick wrapping around them.
Girl at that show who was doing.
Yeah, I got a video of her later in the night, and then there are people like. I'm one of the headbangers. I will break my fucking neck at every show. If I am not sore the next day, I am disappointed in myself. Yeah. Like, I was sore after my set. My half an hour set, I sat down like, fuck me. I am dead. But, yeah, there are tons of different things. People, like, headbanging, like, at my shows, #1 dance I love seeing. Like, I love seeing people pull their head back and throwing it forward, like watching, like they got long hair, watching their hair like make that curve and like snap forward and snap back and everything. I love seeing that. There are people doing their flow art. I see people doing Fortnite dances at shows. Like, granted, it's a Fortnite dance.
I did see one.
Yeah, I see people doing that all. I see people doing that all the time, and it's like
I see it
it's
rarely.
like no, yeah, it's like no one judges what you do there. You could be doing the cramp from SpongeBob, and people were like, "You fucking go, dude! You hit that bitch! You do that! You get that! You do that dance, man! You show that flourish, boss!" It's like people just like you just do what you want at that show. Like you can dance however you want.
Yeah, I mean,
you dance to the beat of your own drum there.
Yeah, I know in hardcore, I mean, you've got classic dances like the two-step. You've got ones where I don't know all their names, but you put your arm over your face and you take your other arm. So essentially, one's a shield and one's a fucking sword. You just fucking swing that. It's hard and as far as you can.
Oh yeah.
You've got the fucking stomp and people walk across and the crab crawl. You get down low and
the crab chorus.
Like, man, there's tons of goofy ones and. You know, there's
a ton of shit I do on stage. Like, granted, I'm always like bouncing back and forth like to the music and everything, like bowing my head. I'm always breaking my neck on stage. One of the show I just played in Kenosha, I played a remix of Tequila because everyone fucking knows Tequila and everyone knows how to dance to it. It's like da 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 da, and everyone dances to it, and you're like, hey, everyone fucking knows this song. And then it's a remix, so when it drops, you're like, all right, this is where shit gets serious, and you start fucking breaking your neck again. It's like playing like those classic songs everyone knows is always so cool. Like I've always stop again.
Nah, go ahead.
All right, I got my next show. I want to play Still Waiting by Sum 41 because like everyone fucking knows that song, and I want the whole crowd to sing it. It's like I don't like. Yeah, sure, you're a fucking dubstep fan. You don't like rock that much, but like you know, Still Waiting. Like everyone fucking knows that song.
Show. We're not even have fun, feel together.
Oh yeah, it's like people do that like all the time. Like even like the main stage artists, like Excision closed out Lost Lands last year with "Sad But True" by Metallica.
Oh,
sure,
yeah,
everyone's there for fucking dubstep, but if you know "Sad But True," you know that song fucking slaps.
Yeah,
and like it's so cool seeing that because it's like playing like it's fucking dubstep. Like I'm a huge metal fan, so I always throw like metal into my shows. Like there are people that make genre called metal step where they throw like dubstep and metal into the same song.
I was just looking into that because I was talking to my coworker who's really into the scene. I was asking her a bunch of things I wanted to ask you about, you know, to gauge whether or not I thought they were interesting questions that someone in the team would know about, and she told me about metal stuff. She told me about
I love
Sullivan
that shit.
King, and
I love Sullivan King. I love Sullivan King so much. She's a fucking.
Damn, this music is.
Oh yeah, no, it's so awesome that they throw like those dubstep. I throw the dubstep samples in it, and then you're like, right when you think it's about to drop, it's a fucking guitar solo, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, it's so cool. I play a part in all my sets now where it's
crazy music.
Just Sullivan King song, and it just stops, and it goes like, I don't know, man. I think we need way more metal, and it just starts breaking down, and then I do like 2 or 3, like these are all dubstep songs, but the ends are like the middles have metal parts in them, and I play like those songs just like back, like it's only like a minute and a half, but I play all 3 parts of those, and then throw it back into a dubstep song. Yeah,
man, I am a sucker for anything that hits hard when it comes to music. Do you think that this? Do you think metal step is a new genre? Is that relatively
Oh, it's definitely it definitely has been surfacing a little bit. Like, I feel like guys like Sullivan King, he remixed a song for Excision on Codename X, and the end of it is the one where it's like, I don't know, man, I think we need way more metal, and it just starts growling and just start chugging on his guitar and like drums and everything, and it's fucking brutal. And
do you think that is the future of, let's call it hard music? You can call it metal, hardcore. I don't
think it is the future. I don't think it's the future, but it definitely has a spot among the big dogs.
Yeah, like, I think it could.
Some like Legends like Destroyed, which is Excision's dubstep band, where it's him, Downlink, and KJ Saka, and KJ does live drums for the whole show. Like he has a full drum set. They're all wearing like these awesome suits of armor and these awesome masks. They have MIDI guitars, so it's like a guitar, but they're all buttons instead of so they're playing these songs live like that. And they brought someone like Sullivan King on stage, and he was singing metal vocals for a song while they're playing like these lighting up guitars. They got like the live drums and everything going. It's crazy. I don't think like metal stuff is definitely, it has like its crowd because the people that like aren't huge fans of metal don't really fuck with it that much just because it's metal. Like my promoter loves dubstep. Like he promotes dubstep shows, obviously, but he's not a huge fan of like someone like Sullivan King, 'cause he just doesn't like the rock and metal aspect of it, but he does dig the dubstep parts of it. So I don't think it is like the like next big thing, but it definitely does have its spot among the top dogs of the industry.
Where do you think EDM's going? Because I know there's obviously new genres all the time. My coworker was telling me, and I thought this myself too, rhythm, that's a generally new genre, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty new. I don't fuck with it that much. It's just not my style. It's just like it's grimy and like it's deep and like you can definitely feel the filth with it. I just don't fuck with it. Like it's just too slow, and like most of it, if you produce it at like a high level, like and like you change it up to like your own style, I fuck with it like very heavily. Like someone like who recently blew up, like exploded, was Sudden Death, and he makes rhythm. Again, I don't fuck with rhythm that much, but the way he produces it and the way he twists it into his own style and makes it his like version of it is amazing, and I do fuck with that. Like I love all of his music because he changes it up to his own style. Like if you make rhythm like every other fucking underground rhythm artist and it's just the same shit over and over again, like every song sounds the same, I don't like it that much. So, like it's the same every time. Like you can't tell like when a song changes. Like if someone like fucking Monks, he fucking needs Red Lobster to show up to a show now, but he makes rhythm, but he does it in his own way, and like he changes it up, and like he like if you hear it, you're like, that's Monks. So it's like, you know, like he has like that sound design with it, like he changed it to like that way, so he knows like it's his, like you know it's his. And then like Sudden Death, he makes rhythm, he like all the rhythm fans love him, and then like someone that like fucks with dubstep more still loves him because he still has his own twist in it and he can change it to like his style, and then it and like it's his own like version of it. But again, like if you're making like basic fucking underground rhythm and it's always like the same thing, and it's hard to get into because it's always it's like, to me it's always in like, granted, someone that's like isn't a metal but like doesn't like does this, all dubstep is the same. Like granted, I don't listen to a lot of rhythm, so to me it all sounds the same, but I'm sure like someone like one of my good friends Brendan and David, who I open for a lot, and they're actually playing pretty soon, are they're huge rhythm guys, and I'm sure they know every rhythm song is different, but like to me most rhythm doesn't have like it just sounds the same. Like if I'm sure
like it's a niche
oh yeah, like
yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. But like if I play like two different songs to them, they'll tell you the artist, who remixed it, who produced it, or like whatever. Like if you play the same two to me, I'm gonna be like, I have no fucking idea who this is.
Yeah. Right.
But like same thing like back like metal, like someone that like just fucks with dubstep and metal, I could play a fucking Upon a Burning Body song and then an Attila song, and they're gonna be like, they both sound the fucking same. They're both fucking metal.
I could see that.
But then, like, to me, I was like, no, this is Upon a Burning Body, and this is Attila. They have, like, these different, like, aspects in it. It's like, it's always, like, what you, like, it's all what you do the most. Like, if you want to, like, if you're heavily into it, you're obviously going to know more about it than the next guy. Because you, like, spend time, like, you listen to, like, all these more artists, like, you learn, like, all their styles. But, like, someone, like, doesn't like me, I'm not going to know the difference right away between them. So it really all just depends, like, what you fuck with the most.
What genre in the EDM scene is like the really fucking out there genre?
Ultratone.
Like everyone ultra what?
Ultratone. It's the biggest fuck show
like,
ever.
Yeah, like tell me like what is the genre that everyone looks at that genre is like how did we even get to that point? Because I'm sure EDM.
Ultratone is fucking stupid. It's a song, like, if you slow it down enough, it's an actual song. But it's dubstep played at, like, 5,000 beats per minute.
Ultratone sounds like...
Yeah, it's just... like, that's what it sounds like. And you're just like, how the fuck is this music? Who the fuck pays to go see this?
That sounds like... I don't know what it's called, but the fucking tone that plays when you die on the hospital bed.
Oh yeah,
Ultratone sounds like a music made out of
that's
that
exactly
just from name.
Ultratone is like if you like I spent the time like I slowed it down enough to where you can understand it. It's an actual song, believe it or not.
Wow.
But when it's put at its basic 5,000 beats per minute, you're not gonna understand. It's white noise. You can't understand it. It's just. It's literally like, this is coming from a guy that listens to dubstep. Yeah. It's just noise. There's nothing there.
You think music, when it comes to postmodernism, do you think music... I mean, I know a lot of people say that it's getting really deconstructionist. I mean, I've heard people say about rap, I mean, let's take rap for example. You have so many artists that are just putting into question what even is a rap song.
Oh, definitely. There are always the people who are like, and you're like, how do we get to this point? Like, there are the people that like
metal
actually
too. I mean, you get to the point sometimes it gets so fucking heavy.
It gets like so growly, so like, blasted, and you're like, what the fuck?
And pushing it to that extreme doesn't. It's at least the way they frame it is it's not actually pushing the music in the sense that it's growing, but it's actually a deconstructionist push of the music.
Oh,
it's
definitely, yeah, because it's like
pushing it to the elements of what it is.
Yeah, like granted, there are the people that's like will put on be like, and like, yeah, I fuck with this, like, this is good, but like, you definitely have to have a taste for it. Like, you can't just like throw it on and be like, all right, I'm gonna listen to this and like try it out. You definitely have to have a taste for it. Like, there are definitely like the people that like throw out that super just powerful shit. Like, I can't even think of any names, so you can't. I call
Nails. You ever heard of the band Nails?
No.
Oh man.
The bands that like I don't understand. I call them the illegible fonts because they had the logos you just cannot fucking read.
That's brilliant. I'm gonna have to steal
some of them. Some of them are pretty fucking good. Like, I've definitely like said, I'm like, all right, I can fuck with this, but I gotta be in, like the mood to, like, I can't just like play this like while I'm driving. I'm gonna fucking kill somebody. But like, the people are always like, I'm gonna just like keep just like fucking throwing this in there, throwing this in there, and you're just like, all right.
You think it gets too heavy?
There's definitely a part where it gets too heavy, and you're like, you gotta back it up, my guy. Like, you have way too much shit going on here.
It can get to the point of so heavy, it's just incoherent.
Yeah, it's like, again, coming from a guy that listens to dubstep, it's just noise.
But it's also good that those bands exist because they do deconstruct the music genre.
Oh yeah, like, and there are people that do get down with it very heavily. Like, one of my old coworkers loves that shit. He loves the shit like you can't understand what they're saying.
People say that about Lil Pump. They say that Lil Pump.
Fuck that guy.
And I feel the same way. I think the music is trash. I think it's terrible.
Oh yeah.
But when you look at it through a deconstruction lens, he's actually breaking down what it means to have lyrics in a rap song.
Yeah, and like
what a flow, what actually constitutes as a legible flow and an acceptable flow within the community of rap. And from that perspective, I'm like, holy shit, Lil Pump.
Yeah,
like,
you obviously gotta give him credit where credit is due. But like, there are the people like Eminem back in when he was golden, like he was throwing like actual like rhymes and like actual like fucking deep shit into his song and like rapping and like actually like rapping, like getting the rhyme, like the rhythm going, and like I can name maybe 2 Eminem songs that like are not off his new album just because like I'm not into it, but like his new album, like the rhymes he threw in there, you're like, holy shit,
I haven't heard it yet.
What happened to this?
I'm sure.
And now that people are just like talking about fucking sipping lean, doing Xans and fucking bitches, like you're like. Every song sounds the fucking same. It's all about the same shit. But then, like, you look at someone like MGK or like Eminem, like, that throw like actual like heartfelt rhymes and like heartfelt lyrics and rhythms into this shit, and it had the basic like rhythm behind it. Like, they actually have like good shit going behind it, and you're like, what happened? Like, why did people start like?
People have said in large part it is a deconstructionist postmodern attitude and rap that has been growing for a really, really long time.
Oh, definitely.
It's almost like when you look at old hip-hop, let's say from the 80s or 90s, where, you know, they have a full suit. It's all one color. They have a fucking bowl hat, right? And these guys are goofy. It's like the glam age of rap.
Oh, yeah. It was the glam metal of rap.
Yeah, back then, those guys were pushing it. Like, they were pushing the boundaries. They were pushing the limits. And these days, we just look at it and we're like, that shit is just...
You're like
I love
we thought this was it? What?
I love that shit personally. I like old rap and hip-hop a lot better than I do like modern rap and hip-hop.
Yeah, definitely. It's like,
I think the music
it was like back then it was like so much more like,
it had a narrative and
there's
soul, and these guys talked about their lives and how they dealt with conflict and their attitudes towards love and hate and brotherhood, and oh man, the narrative is so fucking stale these days.
Oh yeah, it's always the same. But like, then the artist that actually puts like the narrative and like the heartfelt and like the passion into it, you're just like, why isn't this guy the one exploding right now? Like, why do you only have 120 followers when you should have like 1.2 million?
I feel like that's why metal never died and punk did. I feel like punk said a lot of what it had to be said, and it kept treading over just the same motifs over and over again. And I don't feel like they were telling any new explosive new stories through the genre.
No, they weren't, but now, like...
And, you know, they've been sucked into, like fucking post-punk and pop-punk, and those guys are telling the new interesting stories about their lives and how they deal with things.
Oh, definitely.
And I get scared that sometimes, like, fuck, man, I hope, like, what sort of happens to rap doesn't happen to metal. I'm like, ooh, my baby.
Yeah, like I think this year or last year, I don't remember, like, which one exactly, was the first year where rap overtook rock on, like, the #1 charts.
Yeah.
Like, rock wasn't the #1 genre anymore.
Yeah,
and
it's kind of sad.
Yeah, like,
sad state of music, huh?
Oh yeah, and like it, like, and definitely it's like the music definitely influences the youth. Like it's not. I don't mean influencing by, like, if you say, like, go fucking shoot this guy because whatever, you're not gonna go fucking shoot him. It influences, like, on their lifestyle. Like, if you're gonna tell some guy you need a Gucci belt and a Louis Vuitton shirt to be cool, people are gonna go blow their fucking money on that. But if, like, if all the rap switches, like, hey, you need to, like, not be a fucking asshole and, like, go, like, live your life, like do what you like, do what you want to do, like, go be you, go be yourself. This world will be so much fucking different. You wouldn't have these fucking assholes all the time.
Just as Eminem as an artist, I remember a lot of people really connecting to his music because he rapped about his life and he told it, and it had a moral and it had a value. Even though it wasn't always good, you still could pull something good out of those crazy unhinged songs he made, because it was showing the extent of his failure and you could learn from that as a listener. And I just don't see that extent of failure in much music nowadays. I mean, I'm sort of only starting to get into rap, to be honest, and I have heard a lot of you know, these things touched in Drake's music. I've heard it touched on in Kanye's music, and yeah, man, I just hope they don't lose it, because there's a huge scene in that genre of music that, I mean, a lot of people are saying that we're in an emo age of rap, and that rap is
definitely
emo.
Yeah, like I definitely do see that where it's getting, like, a little emotional, like someone like Lil Peep or like X, like rip those two. Like, I'm not a huge rap fan, but goddamn, credit due where credit is due. They definitely knew what they were doing and they did what they loved. And, like, I listened, like, after X passed, I did listen to a couple of his songs. Like, I don't really fuck with it that much, but, like, you know what? I'm gonna listen to it. And, like, I gotta say, like, damn, he did, like, speak his mind on it. It wasn't all about getting fucked up. It wasn't all about, like, fucking doing lean all the time. It wasn't about, like, killing yourself through drugs or anything. It was, he talked about his depression and his life. And, like, you're like, that's what people need to be doing more. They need to stop.
And for the most part, when he made his music, even if it was extremely, I'm talking about X here, even if it was extremely brash, I feel like he filtered it through a lens of mistake, because on every other one of his songs he would talk about how much he's fucked up and how conceited and self-entitled he might have been, and it adds a new perspective to his other songs, where
definitely,
like the banger songs, you know,
are now like the
up songs.
And then, like, when someone passes like that, it completely just switches the meaning of it. Like when, like, Paul Gray was still alive when Slipknot wrote All Hope Is Gone and Snuff was on it. And then now you go back and listen to Snuff, and you can completely switch the meaning about it. Like, it was about, I don't remember what the exact meaning of it was. But you can go back and listen to all those songs, and boom, they're all about, like, Paul now. Because, like, you can just switch the meaning of it, like, when someone like that passes.
Do you know We Came As Romans?
Yes. Yeah, their singer just passed away from accidental overdose, didn't he?
Man, yeah.
Yeah, that's horrible. Like, how old was he? He was, like, what, 27 or something? They
were the first metal show I ever went to.
That's crazy. I saw them in open air 2 years ago.
Oh, no. Holy shit. Man, from what I could tell, they seemed like really humble, nice guys. Fuck.
Oh, yeah, like,
that sucks.
It's like being a DJ and, like, having, like, all this, like, all the chances I've had to, like, be backstage and, like, meet all these artists. Like, it's crazy. Like, on stage, they're Funkcase, they're Snails, they're Megalodon, they're fucking Yaks or whatever. But when you're hanging out with them backstage, it's James, Jeff, Fred, and David, and they're all, like, completely different people. Like, they don't, like, what Megalodon told me the first time I met him, because, like, I was freaking out so much. I was like, oh my god, these are my fucking idols, I'm hanging out with them, like, right now. He's like, look, dude, he's like, we're all just kids that make music, man. He's like, that's all we are. He's like, we're just kids that have a passion to make music.
I was talking to my coworker sort of about that in this individual level of EDM that we sort of talked about a little bit earlier. Do you think it's a lot easier for EDM I think so. I think it's a lot easier for EDM artists to get in trouble and to get full of themselves because they are mostly alone. They don't have a band they have to appease. They don't have as many groupies that they have to take care of. They don't have to travel together all the time. And
definitely.
Like
yeah,
I feel like when it comes to pop and rap too, I mean, it's obviously a lot more prolific in their community. But that also, it's because those are solo artists.
Yes.
You think that's a growing issue in EDM? As
I don't. Recently, yes, it has been to me because someone like Datsik, someone put on like Facebook that he got rape allegations. Like nothing was proven, never went to court or anything. It was all just someone on Facebook saying he raped me. It was like it was all just an allegation. Like nothing was proven at all, and his career was over in 12 hours. I haven't seen any. He hasn't posted anything or anything. Like, you haven't heard from him since then. Like his career was over in 12 hours after someone posted about that. We look at someone like fucking 6ix9ine, who has pleaded guilty to rape, has pleaded guilty to abuse.
X had a fucking notorious record too.
Yeah, and like all these people, like they have pleaded guilty. They have been charged with like the rape, the abuse, or whatever, but they still have careers. Like how the fuck does that happen? Like someone posted that Datsik had an allegation against him, and his career's done. It's over. You haven't heard from him since. But these people, like in the rap industry, have pleaded guilty to it, and people are still supporting them. You're like, how the fuck do you do that?
Well, man, it's almost part of the draw in some ways. Here's a really good question, and it's sort of prolific in the hardcore community, to be honest. Here's the question. It's, do you separate the artist from their art? Because in the metal community, at least, there's a huge rift between artists who are pieces of shit and they're really good music.
Oh,
and
definitely.
If you show up to some hardcore shows with the wrong band t-shirt on and that fucking
these guys called
you could be in trouble.
Yeah, these guys called EPROM. The only reason I know about them now is because they put on Twitter, like, if you bring your old Datsik merch to our show, we'll throw it away and we'll give you one of our shirts. And
I assumed it probably rhymed in EDM.
Yeah, I was like, dude, okay.
It's so similar to be.
Oh, yeah, I was like, dude, like, what the fuck? Like, sure, he had the allegations against him, and, like, I met the dude, like, the day, like, literally, the day before it happened, I met the dude. And he was the nicest guy, one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life, because I made him like a little model of his stage, and he's like, "This is so fucking," like he was so like struck by it. He's like, "This is so fucking cool." He's like, "Hey, after the show, we're gonna get a picture when I have like my ninja outfit on and everything. I got like my mask, so like I'm not a sweaty mess." I was like, "All right, cool, dude." And like, I was about to leave, and he came up from the room. He's like, "Where the fuck is the kid that made my stage? I owe him a picture." So like he came up and like said to me, he's like, he remembered like, "Hey, I owe this kid a picture," and it's like. And it's like, it's the interaction like that, like, that's awesome. But like, yeah, there are other people that definitely, like, if you wear like the wrong merch to show, you're fucked. Somewhat, like, there are people that, like, if you wear, there was an artist that said, "Hey, if you wear a Bass Nectar shirt to my show, you're not getting in." It's like, what the fuck, dude? It's like, I like some of the artists I go see, I don't have merch for them just because I either can't afford it, haven't gotten around to ordering it yet. So I wear somebody else's shirt, and no one's ever had a problem with that. But like when you meet someone that is, like if I were to like go up and meet him and I was wearing like an Excision shirt and it wasn't Excision, he's like, "Why the fuck you wearing an Excision shirt?" I was like, "Because I don't own one of your shirts yet." And he's like, "What the fuck is your problem, dude?" You're like, "What the fuck?"
That's really
it's like
weird.
That's personally never happened, but there are artists like that, and it sucks that they're like that. It's like you're so like uptight about yourself that if like people have to wear your merch at your shows, it's like, okay, like,
man, like,
what
there's
the fuck?
Enough love to go around. Like, not everyone needs to be your fucking disciple.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's like sometimes like if I go see Excision, but like my outfit doesn't work with an Excision shirt, I'll wear a different shirt. And it's like no one has a fucking problem with that. Like I see people wearing Slipknot shirts at Excision shows. Like there's not a problem with it.
Yeah, I see people wear Marvel t-shirts to hardcore shows.
Oh yeah, people wear some weird shit all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, we both understand that you're not in trouble if you don't rep the merch, and it would be very odd if you were. But there are artists that are like, "Why aren't you wearing my shirts?" It's like, because I fucking haven't got one yet. There's some scenes where I guess there's just a more strict dress code, but it comes out to a lot of time like shit that is just outside the scene, because I don't know, I personally don't I personally separate the artist a lot from their music. I think, like,
oh yeah,
even
like,
if they're a piece of shit and I like their music, I'll listen to the music. Like,
oh yeah, definitely. Like, people are always like,
the song's good. The song's good.
Like, fuck that sick. He fucking raped this girl, whatever. But it's like, you gotta respect the fucking music he made. Though he's been making music since 2008, and he's like one of the biggest artists in the world. It's like, just because, yeah, he had these allegations doesn't make his music trash all of a sudden because you were fucking at his show. You were at the show yesterday getting down to his music, and now you fucking hate him. And, like, you can't just say you hate the music now because you were just there.
Yeah, a lot of people, I think their art is mostly removed from the person. I don't think it's completely removed. I think it's mostly removed, though, for me personally. And I think it is a personal choice for people, and I would leave most people to choose whether or not they wanted to express their love for someone's art, even if they're crazy. Because I mean, there's always been crazy artists forever that history has been recorded. There's been psycho artists, and most people, to be honest, and here's the trouble, most people don't want their artists sane. Most people want their artists to be crazy.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, that's why Slipknot is like, that's why Slipknot is Slipknot. Because all 9 of those motherfuckers are insane.
And, yeah.
Like, granted, like, now they've all
that gets
like they've all grown like through the music industry. But like back in like 1999, when they're all in like their 20s and they're all angry and they all just want to scream and they're on stage choking each other out, you're like, these guys are fucking psycho. And, like, this is awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
but now like they actually had to like slow down because like they're getting older, but like, that insanity is still up there because like look what they've done. They went from this 9-piece band in Iowa to selling out arenas and like headlining festivals because of what they did when they were younger.
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of the issue when it comes to metal, I see it all the fucking time. Band members, they fucking message some young underage girl.
Oh yeah.
They fucking, everything gets posted online. I was talking to this band member, and then everyone boycotts that band, and you you can't listen to that fucking venues. Don't play that band's music aloud before the show starts. People don't wear that band's merch anymore, and if you're wearing that band's merch,
that's what happened with fucking Danzig. It's like it's
you really hard.
Yeah, and it's like
they say that. Here's the common reason. The common reasoning that I hear most often is you're supporting that person financially. If you buy their merchandise, you are paying them. You're enabling them to continue
what they do.
Their immorality, let's say. And I think there's some truth to that. I think you'd be a liar to say that there wasn't any truth to that. And it puts, I don't know, man, me as an audience member, it just puts me in a weird place. I mean, what do you do? Do you just feel like... Do you own the shirt in your house and wear it? Like, do you just now?
Yeah, it's like I own it.
Buy it anymore?
Yeah. It's like I own it. Like I to this day, like even though Danzig's career is over, I still listen to his music because like I cannot like
I still listen.
I didn't get involved at all like with the whole drama with him or like anything. I didn't get involved at all. I just said like what was like I said. I just knew there were allegations, and I knew that his career was over. Like that's all that like I've said. Like I'm not saying it's not true. I'm not saying it is true. I'm saying there are allegations.
That sounds very realist.
Yeah, and it's like I do own a I do own a Danzig shirt that I got at the show, but I don't wear it because I want to support him. So like he's still a phenomenal artist. He did do what he loved and he did make good music. But if I were to wear like a Danzig show to another show, I would just get harassed the entire time.
Yeah, you get side-eyed,
like,
right?
I have, like, my pass I got for the show, it's like a sticker that goes on your pants. I have it signed by him, and it sits on my wall. It's like, sure, his career's over, and people might hate him, but he's like, I got to go to the show, and I got to do what I loved there, and I got to meet him. I'm going to keep that on my fucking wall, because I want it there, and because he signed it. And, like, I think that's so fucking cool to me. And it's like... it is sad. It's sad to see like a legend like that go. But, like I'm not saying it is true. I'm not saying it is true. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just like I've just said like that there are allegations, and it's like I do still support his music because you like even though like if it is true or if it's not, it's still just the allegations. You can say he's a horrible fucking person, whatever, but you still cannot deny that his music was phenomenal because you still went to his shows, you still bought his merch, you still supported him.
Yeah, I mean, and he's got the record to prove that.
Oh yeah, he definitely does. All of his albums and everything.
At least in that case, you have a really good foundation of benefit of doubt on those allegations. People like XXXTentacion, I'm pretty sure he openly talked about that he did those things.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more artists that do. If you want to know how far my separation of art goes from the artist, you ever heard Charles Manson's music?
No.
You know who Charles Manson is? Charles Manson was a cult serial killer. I think it was in the 60s. I don't remember what director's family he killed, but he killed like the wife and or family of this Hollywood director, and he went to prison, and it's a really long fucking amazing cult. It's like one of the most famous American cult stories of all time. And he was friends with the Beatles. He was friends with one of the Beatles members. And he was also friends with one of the members from the Beach Boys, and the Beatles and the Beach Boys were friends too. And they helped him produce music, and he used to write music and stuff. And I think his music is awesome. I think it's so strange and so unique. I think it is super duper interesting. But a lot of people would say, well, that's Charles Manson. He's a serial killer cult leader. Why would you listen to his music? I mean, like, you can't listen to his music. I don't know. I think his music's still super fucking interesting.
Oh, yeah, there are definitely people like that where it's like...
The epitome of evil, a lot of people would call this guy.
Oh, yeah, like what you told me, you're like, what the heck? He's a fucked up dude, but like, if he makes good music, like, fuck, like, if it's good music, it's good music.
It's a weird situation.
Like, you can say you hate, like, you can hate him all you want, but you still cannot deny, like, if the music is well produced, it's well produced.
Yeah, I mean, he's in prison, so I don't think you can really financially support him.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a little bit I think he just died recently of a heart attack, too.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think he did, actually.
30 fucking years or something. A long time. He was young when he got in. So, I mean, I think this is a great spot to ask you my final question, because I'm really trying to get at the essence of EDM and understand more about it. He's going, what do you think is the highest value in EDM? Shared throughout the scene, throughout the artist, in the crowd, like, what is the highest value related to the music that someone who just doesn't know shit about EDM, maybe just thinks it's all screechy noise, that it sounds like dump trucks having sex?
It's definitely like,
what are they missing? What's the highest value? Like, the big why?
It's the love for the music. Like, they say that, but they probably have never been to an EDM show. Like, if they would have gone to one, they would. It'd be an eye-opening, moment, because your mind would just be blown by, like, why everyone is there for the same reason. And again, it's no matter what your skin color is, your race, your ethnicity, your religion, your fucking political views, your past, your anything. Everyone is there for the same reason, and it's the love of that music and the love of that artist. Everyone is there for that same reason, and that's what's beautiful about it.
So it's like open source community with like a pause between open source and community. That's what it sounds like.
I've seen people at shows.
And that's what I've gotten a lot from you in this conversation, and just from what I've seen on the outskirts of EDM, I feel like it's extremely open source. Like, almost anyone could, if they really wanted to, pick it up. And I think what you relate to me is that, you know, obviously a lot of people have their own reasons for going here, but it's also very communal, because, I mean, I see you meeting all these guys, and they have so many people on these rosters. I mean, it's not just 3 or 4 people on these low-time shows.
Yeah.
They have so many artists bringing so many different people together, and it's so open source. And back to the theatrics, here's something I told my coworker. I told my coworker that as far as theatrics go, that metal only gets as far out as their hair and their beards do.
Yeah.
When it comes to EDM, when it comes to theatrics, you think of something like Burning Man, or you think of something like EDC. These people are literally building their own worlds.
Oh, definitely.
In the fucking desert.
Definitely. Like, Lost Lands is the fucking
open source.
It's insane. It's a dubstep Jurassic Park.
It's insane. It really is, from an outsider point of view, and I'm super fucking interesting. It's so cool that you fucking DJ, dude. I think it's so fucking badass and awesome. And seeing you is so interesting. I think I'm gonna hit up my coworker, try to get to more shows. Yeah, thank you so much for talking to me today.
Dude, no problem.
How long did we talk? Like fucking 2 hours, 2.5 hours?
Probably something like that.
Flew by.
All right, I'm gonna plug something real fast though. We got a Northern Entertainment's promoting a show. Wooly with some special guests and Two-Face coming to the Candela Club in Niles, Illinois on September 28th. My boys Brandon and David are playing the first set of that night. Be sure you go there and check it out. $10 right now on $10 tickets right now on Northern Entertainment's page.
Yeah, I'm just gonna bring it to be super real right now. This is my first attempt ever at something like this.
Well, I'm glad I could be a part of it.
We had a few technical hiccups here and there, but
no, I'm glad I could be a part of it.
Next time I'll probably bring the camera close to me so I can just click the button right here. Cause why did I set it all the way out here? That kind of doesn't make any
sense. Hey man, it's all a learning process.
Doesn't make any sense, but we'll get onto it. I'll figure out the 20 minutes of thing. I guess I might just have to work breaks into the structure of this thing. But this went really well. You're
I'm glad I could be here.
Guy, and honestly,
thank you very much.
If production-wise this all goes really well, I would fucking love to have you back on.
Oh,
this is awesome, bro.
I'd be glad to come back.
Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And taking this chance, I really appreciate it. Sorry it got so hot in here, too.
Oh, no, it's all good. It's cold outside anyways. It's like fucking 60 degrees.
All right, that's a wrap.